Here we're going to go through some questions related to this graph, a raccoon's day out. The first question says, what does the ordered pair XY represent in this situation? So this graph still has an X and Y axis. They are just labeled time and distance from the den in miles. So the X represents the time in hours, and the Y represents the distance from the den in miles. So the XY ordered pair represents how many hours, in X hours, the raccoon will be Y miles from the den. So if we look at a specific ordered pair, like right here, 0, 0, the first 0 means 0 hours because the X coordinate means hours, and the second 0 means 0 miles from the den. So the point 0, 0 you read with the label. In 0 hours, the raccoon will be 0 miles from the den. The next question is asking for the unit rate. So a rate is the slope. Unit rate is saying that the denominator needs to be 1. So how much change per 1 unit. So let's find the slope of this line. And what we need to do is pick any 2 points. If I pick this point and this point, I'm looking for, remember, slope is the change in the Y coordinate, so how much it goes up and down, over the change in the X coordinate, so how much it goes left to right. It's rise over run. So in this case, we are going from 0 up to 0.75, and we're going over from 0 to 1. So it's 0.75 over 1. If we want to pick another 2 points, if I want to look at this point and this point, we see again we are going up from 0.75 to 1.5. That's up 0.75. And from 1 to 2, we're going over 1. So our rate is 0.75 over 1. Now, this happens to already be written as a unit rate, so we don't need to change it. If it wasn't written as a unit rate, then we can just divide. Like if we were given 5 over 4, if the change was a rise of 5 and a run of 4, and that was our slope, then we would just divide. 5 over 4 is 1.25, so this is the same as 1.25 over 1 as a unit rate. But again, this one's already written as a unit rate, so we're done there. But it's actually saying to write our unit rate as an ordered pair. So we're just going to put the Y coordinate, the change in Y goes where our Y coordinate is, over the change in X goes with our X coordinate. So now it says, what does the unit rate represent in this situation? So again, we're just going to read it with the labels. The 1 is the change in the X coordinate. So in 1 hour, and the 0.75 is a change in the Y coordinate. In 1 hour, we go a distance of 0.75 miles. Our last step is to write the equation to represent this situation. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can always use the slope-intercept form. So it would be y equals mx plus b. But in this case, since it goes through the point 0, 0, and it is a straight linear line, we know that this is direct variation. So it is y equals k times x, where k is the constant of proportionality. It is our unit rate. So same answer if you use either of these formats. If we use the first one, our slope is our rate of 0.75 divided by 1, which is 0.75 x. And our y-intercept is right here, crosses our y-intercept at 0, so we can put plus 0, which anything plus 0 is itself, so that is what we get. The same deal over here on the right. Our constant is our unit rate, so it's 0.75 times x.